Arsenal fans, finally!
Arsenal were left outraged and deeply frustrated today after a hugely controversial VAR decision denied them a clear penalty in a fiercely contested Premier League clash against Manchester United, a moment that ultimately robbed Mikel Arteta's side of vital points in a match with massive implications for the season. From the very first whistle, the encounter carried an edge that reflected its importance. Arsenal arrived at Old Trafford knowing that any slip-up could damage their momentum in the title race and the battle for Champions League qualification. Manchester United, eager to reassert themselves in front of their home supporters, matched that urgency with intensity, aggression, and a willingness to disrupt Arsenal's rhythm. Despite the hostile atmosphere, Arsenal showed composure and control. They dominated possession for long spells, moving the ball with confidence and patience. William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes were calm and authoritative at the back, stepping out to break United's press and initiate attacks. In midfield, Declan Rice delivered a commanding performance, winning duels, covering ground relentlessly, and driving Arsenal forward whenever space opened up. Martin Odegaard once again proved why he is the heartbeat of this Arsenal side. His movement between the lines caused constant problems for United's midfield, while his vision and passing ensured Arsenal remained on the front foot. Out wide, Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli stretched the pitch, repeatedly forcing United's defenders into difficult decisions and creating overloads in advanced areas. However, despite their territorial dominance, Arsenal found clear-cut chances hard to come by. United defended compactly, often dropping deep and relying on counter-attacks and individual moments to threaten. The match remained finely balanced, tense, and increasingly shaped by the awareness that one major decision could decide the outcome. That decision arrived in the second half and it went against Arsenal. Arsenal produced one of their sharpest attacking moves of the match, slicing through United's defensive structure with quick, intelligent passing. The ball found its way to Bukayo Saka inside the penalty area. As Saka shifted the ball to set up a shot, a Manchester United defender lunged across him. There was no contact with the ball. Instead, the defender clipped Saka's leg, disrupting his stride and sending him to the ground. The reaction was instant. Arsenal players threw their arms into the air, surrounding the referee in disbelief. Mikel Arteta leapt from the technical area, clearly convinced his side had just been denied a stonewall penalty. Even several United players appeared hesitant, as if expecting the referee to point to the spot. But the whistle never came. Play was waved on, and attention immediately turned to VAR, the system introduced to eliminate precisely this kind of injustice. Replays from multiple angles left little room for doubt. The defender was late. He did not touch the ball. There was clear contact inside the penalty area. By the laws of the game, it was a foul. VAR conducted its review, with cameras zooming in and slow-motion footage highlighting the contact. Pundits and commentators prepared to explain why a penalty would surely be awarded. Instead, to the astonishment of players, fans, and viewers worldwide, the VAR officials upheld the on-field decision. No penalty. No on-field review. No clear explanation. The disbelief inside the stadium was matched by outrage elsewhere. Arsenal players looked stunned. Arteta stood frozen on the touchline, his frustration unmistakable. For many, this was not a subjective or marginal decision, it was a blatant error that directly influenced the result of the match. In his post-match comments, Arteta carefully chose his words, aware of the fines and sanctions that often follow outspoken criticism of referees. Yet his message was clear. He spoke about the need for consistency, fairness, and accountability, hinting strongly that Arsenal had once again fallen victim to an unacceptable decision. Senior players echoed the same frustration. There was a sense that Arsenal had done everything right tactically and mentally, only to be undone by a moment entirely outside their control. In a league where games are decided by the smallest margins, such decisions feel devastating. As the match progressed, the denied penalty seemed to drain Arsenal emotionally. They continued to push, but the urgency became tinged with frustration. United, sensing that frustration, grew in confidence and became more disciplined defensively. The momentum that a penalty could have generated was gone, replaced by a lingering sense of injustice. When the final whistle blew, Arsenal were left to reflect on what might have been. Those dropped points could prove enormous in the context of the season. In a title race where rivals like Manchester City are ruthless and rarely drop points, Arsenal cannot afford to lose ground due to officiating errors. This incident has once again reignited the wider debate surrounding VAR in the Premier League. Introduced to improve accuracy and fairness, VAR continues to divide opinion. Fans are confused by inconsistent interpretations of the rules. Players are left frustrated by decisions that change from week to week. Managers are forced to temper their criticism while knowing their teams are being punished by mistakes. What makes today's decision even harder to accept is the inconsistency. Similar challenges elsewhere in the league have resulted in penalties without hesitation. When identical incidents are judged differently depending on the match or the teams involved, trust in the system inevitably erodes. Social media exploded within minutes of the incident. Clips, screenshots, and comparisons flooded timelines, with many neutral fans and former referees agreeing that Arsenal should have been awarded a penalty. The sense that Arsenal were robbed was not limited to their supporters alone. For Arsenal fans, the feeling was painfully familiar. Pride in the team's performance mixed with anger at yet another decision that went against them in a crucial match. Many supporters questioned how their side can compete on equal terms when such moments repeatedly swing results. Ultimately, today's match will not be remembered for its footballing quality or tactical battle, but for a single VAR decision that changed everything. Arsenal were denied a clear penalty, denied momentum, and denied vital points in a season where every single one could define success or failure. As Arteta and his squad move forward, they will be forced to respond with resilience, focus, and unity. The season is far from over, and Arsenal will continue to fight. But nights like this leave scars. If the final league table shows Arsenal falling short by a narrow margin, this moment at Old Trafford will be remembered as a turning point. The Premier League prides itself on being the best league in the world. Yet incidents like today raise serious questions about officiating standards and VAR accountability. Until consistency and transparency improve, controversies like this will continue to overshadow the football itself. For Arsenal, this was not just a bad decision, it was a moment of injustice that may yet define their season.